Welcome back to our channel. Today we dive into the early life of Adolf Hitler, a journey through personal setbacks, transformative experiences, and the events that would ultimately propel him into history as one of the most notorious figures of the 20th century. Stay with us as we explore the formative years that set the stage for his rise to power. Born on April 20th, 1889, in the modest town of Braunau am Inn, near the Austro-German frontier, Hitler's childhood was steeped in the dynamic and ever-changing cultural landscape of Central Europe. Hitler's father, Alois, served as a state customs official, a respectable position that influenced the family's early life. After Alois retired, the family relocated to Linz, the capital of Upper Austria, where a young Adolf spent his formative years. Growing up in Linz, Adolf appeared destined for a conventional career, following in his father's bureaucratic footsteps. Yet even in his youth, there was a rebellious spark, a desire to forge a different path. The structure and discipline of traditional education did little to suit him, and ultimately, the rigid confines of his schooling led him to drop out. With his father's influence gradually waning, Hitler's aspirations took an unexpected turn. The death of Alois in 1903 marked a pivotal change, steering him toward the world of art. This dream was so compelling that he set his sights on becoming an artist, a goal that would soon lead him to Vienna, the cultural hub of the era. In Vienna, Hitler applied to the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts. Unfortunately for him, his artistic ambitions were met with rejection. This failure did more than crush his hopes for an art career. It forced him to re-examine his future and ultimately led him down a new, darker path. During his years in Vienna, Hitler eked out a living by painting and selling his works on the bustling streets. While this period was marked by isolation and a sense of loneliness, it was also a time of intense intellectual exploration. He devoured books and absorbed a variety of ideologies, immersing himself in the ethnic and nationalist tensions that were pervasive in the city. These experiences would later crystallize into the ideological foundation for his political beliefs. In 1913, seeking fresh opportunities and an environment more aligned with his evolving perspectives, Hitler relocated to Munich in Bavaria. This move would prove to be a turning point in his life. When World War I erupted in 1914, Hitler's sense of duty and desire for a fresh start led him to volunteer. He successfully petitioned to join a reserve infantry regiment and soon found himself on the brutal battlefields of Belgium and France. His wartime service not only provided him with personal glory, earning him 2 military decorations, including the rare Iron Cross First Class, but also left deep emotional and physical scars. Hitler's experiences during the war were a crucible that hardened his character. Wounded twice, once at the Battle of the Somme and again near Ypres due to a British gas attack, he was forever marked by the physical and emotional toll of combat. While recuperating, he learned of Germany's capitulation, a development that left him, like many of his countrymen, bitterly disillusioned. This defeat fueled a dangerous ideology within him. Convinced that Germany's downfall was not merely the result of superior enemy force, but rather the betrayal from within by so-called unpatriotic elements, Hitler began to form the seeds of a radical political perspective. Returning to Munich in late 1918, Hitler found himself drawn to the turbulent political scene. It was here that his oratorical skills and charisma began to take shape as he joined the German Workers' Party. This small political group sought to merge nationalist fervor with the interests of the working class, a union that would soon set the stage for the birth of the Nazi Party. By 1920, Hitler had committed himself fully to the cause, transitioning from military service to full-time politics. He quickly became the driving force behind the party's propaganda, and with his leadership, the party was rebranded as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party. In a masterstroke of symbolic propaganda, Hitler adopted the swastika, a symbol that, despite its ancient roots in various Eastern religions, would come to epitomize his dark ideology. By the early 1920s, the seeds of extremist ideology were firmly planted. With the Weimar Republic reeling under economic and political pressures, Hitler's blend of nationalist rhetoric and militaristic ambition began to resonate with a populace yearning for a sense of direction and pride. His rhetoric found a particular echo among disgruntled veterans and those who felt betrayed by the political establishment. In November 1923, a dramatic moment unfolded in Munich. In an audacious bid for power, Hitler led what came to be known as the Beer Hall Putsch, a failed coup aimed at overthrowing the Weimar government. Despite the violent clash with authorities and the subsequent failure of the putsch, the event catapulted Hitler into the national spotlight. Arrested and tried for treason, Hitler's imprisonment at Landsberg Castle lasted a mere 9 months. Yet it was during this time behind bars that he began to articulate his vision in writing. The result was Mein Kampf, a manifesto that outlined his fierce nationalism, virulent anti-Semitism, and plans for a racially pure Germany. Although its initial circulation was limited, this book would eventually become one of the most infamous texts in modern history. Following his release, Hitler wasted no time in rebuilding and expanding his political apparatus. He reorganized the Nazi Party, established the Hitler Youth to indoctrinate young minds, and formed the Schutzstaffel, or SS, a paramilitary group that would later be central to his regime's enforcement of ideological purity. These maneuvers consolidated his power and set the stage for the radical transformation of German politics. As Germany grappled with the economic devastation of the Great Depression, the political landscape became even more volatile. Amid widespread discontent and a series of weak governments, the promise of radical change resonated deeply with the populace. In 1932, as Hitler vied for the presidency, his message found fertile ground among voters desperate for a restoration of national pride. Then in January 1933, a turning point arrived when President Paul von Hindenburg appointed Hitler as chancellor. This seemingly unexpected move marked the official birth of the Third Reich, a regime that promised a 1,000-year reign of power but would, in reality, usher in an era of unprecedented tyranny and destruction. Once in power, Hitler moved swiftly to consolidate his control. The Reichstag fire in February 1933, an event still shrouded in controversy, provided the pretext to enact repressive measures. By passing the Enabling Act in March, he secured sweeping legislative powers that effectively dismantled the democratic institutions of the Weimar Republic. Within months, the Nazi Party was declared the sole political force in Germany, and opposition was ruthlessly eliminated. By mid-1934, following a notorious purge known as the Night of the Long Knives, Hitler had removed many of his political rivals and dissenters, including prominent figures within his own ranks. This ruthless consolidation of power not only silenced internal threats, but also sent a chilling message across Germany and the world. From his humble beginnings in Braunau am Inn to the corridors of power in Berlin, Adolf Hitler's early life was a complex tapestry of personal failures, wartime experiences, and political ambition. It was a life that, through a series of seemingly isolated events, gradually transformed from the struggles of a disaffected artist into the foundation for a regime built on extremist ideology and ruthless power. Hitler's journey is a stark reminder of how personal setbacks and societal crises can combine to forge a path toward radical extremism. His early life, marked by rejection and disillusionment, eventually fueled a political machine that exploited national discontent and reshaped history in the most tragic way imaginable. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration into Adolf Hitler's early years insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most complex figures. And as always, we encourage respectful discussion in the comments below. Until next time, stay informed and stay vigilant.